I just couldn't golf once a week. It didn't make sense to me. So I mean, with food, it was the same thing. I would starve all day and set myself up for a binge, so that I could eat everything I want, all I want, as much as I want. What I didn't understand is my body was working against me.
I tend to believe that most of us, if not all of us, have quite complicated lives, and a binge eating disorder is a symptom. And it's a symptom of, generally speaking, it's a symptom of coping with some difficulties in their lives in a way that's pretty unhealthy.
For like 139. You know.
John believes in helping his patients dissect different phases of their lives to help find the root of their problems.
I do help men explore their history. And I don't just mean their childhood history. I'm talking about their history in adult intimate relationships. I'm talking about their history at work. I'm talking about their history with other men. So their entire history and some of the ways that they cope with some of the experiences they've had. And most of the time, men who see me have had some pretty difficult experiences. They're sensitive to negative emotions. And at some point in their lives, they discovered that food blunts the pain that they experience on an emotional level. So food, it becomes, the overuse of food anyway, becomes their unhealthy way of coping with issues they need to address.
There is no one way to diagnose an eating disorder, but if someone is constantly thinking of food and when they're going to eat next, they may suffer from one.
If a man is living his life and he's finding that he is organizing a fair amount of his time thinking about food and finding himself strangely coming out of an experience of eating too much food in a short period of time, he's probably realizing that he has binge eating disorder. The bigger question is, will he minimize it and ignore it and put it on the shelf? Or will he actually seek out help for it? And unfortunately, a lot of men just rationalize the behavior and don't really see it as a warning sign.
Well, I think males are reluctant to seek help in a lot of different ways. They're reluctant to seek help for anger management, for eating disorders, for alcohol, for drug addiction. I think men are conditioned to sort of problem solve all by themselves, all on their own. And what they're not getting is the full package of information that is needed in order to to do a creative intervention all by yourself.
My opinion as to why men are reluctant to seek mental health treatment is probably related to how we raise our men. I think we raise boys and then men with the notion that we need to be manly and strong. I think men get caught up in that ideal notion of being a man, a lot like how women can sometimes get caught up in the notion of being beautiful and get caught up in the notion of being strong. And that implies the idea of not being weak, being rational rather than emotional, being independent rather than interdependent. And therapy is often thought of as contrary to all of those things.
The clinical component is what I'm talking about, is the clinical component, is teaching me how to live every day, nourishing my body and not abusing my body through food. I'm carrying about 309 pounds or 310 pounds today. That's not really my concern. What my concern is, I'm not carrying 400, and it takes all my strength and all my power to keep it accountable and keep it in check. I will eat until I'm so in pain from food, and I always did that.
Paul would like to get the message across that there are resources out there for people to use. They just need to know where to find them.
The only thing I want to get out to people is that there are supports available for people. Arm yourself load up with all the information you can get on this obesity pandemic. And for people out there, there's help out there. You don't have to take this on all by yourself, and you don't have to blame anybody. If you want to blame somebody, blame me. I'll take the blame for anybody out there. But I'm also doing the work, and I've also got the information. This is not a simple problem. This is a very complex issue. For me, it's a tremendously complex issue, and I've been fortunate to receive treatment for it.